Welcome to the Purposeful Fitness with Coach Ola, where I dive in deeper into holistic health and fitness topics that would help you stay inspired, motivated, and dedicated to living a purposeful fit life while pursuing for the Akhirah. Hey everyone, welcome to the 6th episode with Coach Ola. Today we have a special guest, Coach Nyla. She is a health coach who mentors women to achieve their best body and empowered self. She helps her clients achieve huge mindset shifts with their relationship to food, exercise, and their body image. She helps women achieve clarity to clear the clutter of self-sabotage, binge eating, and feeling ugly at their mirror reflection, to instead learn to love and respect themselves with incredible exercise and food coaching. Nyla mentors her clients to not just look amazing, but feel amazing and develop themselves as an empowered woman. I am so happy and honored to have her in this episode. You will laugh with us, I am sure, inshallah. And in this episode, we talked about why it's important to love yourself and why it's important to work on your self-development. But I also want to give quick self-note and a disclaimer that everything that we talked about in this show came from two women. So it's from a woman's perspective, but I want to let you know that if you're a man, a gentleman listening to this show, I want you to know that you too are included and you too matter. It's just that we women sometimes self-sabotage ourselves, but I also think this issue is real among men, such as body image, such as eating disorders, and much more. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen in my own family, and I've seen it from other people, how a lot of men and young men especially, that they don't love themselves enough, and they get mindset played around by other women. So I want both men and women to love themselves for who they are, to work on themselves first. And once we do that, we will find love, inshallah, not in this world only, but in the hereafter at the same time, inshallah. So, are you guys ready to dive in with the amazing Nyla? Let's do this. Assalamu alaikum, Nyla. How are you?
Walaikum salam, Allah. I'm great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Are you welcome. So tell us where you're at. Where are you from? Country-wise.
So I live in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, life is great here. It's very sunny and hot this time of year, so just enjoying that.
I'm a little jealous. Are you close to the beach or no? Is that the beachy area?
Yeah. I'm about 20-minute drive away from the beach.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's great. I've just been in the ocean, absorbing the magnesium. I've been living it up.
Awesome. So you're like a little mermaid, like me. I love the ocean.
I am, yeah. But you know what? You kill it. You kill those outdoor workouts, beautiful scenery. Like that is inspiration. MashaAllah. Love that.
Thank you. I love outside work. Outdoor workouts, my favorite. Yes. So today's topic, we're going to talk about on why it's important to love ourselves since it's Valentine's month, February. But, before you love someone else, you got to love who? Yourself.
Yes. Love it.
Yes. But before we begin on that topic, I would like to know a little bit more about your background, what you do, so we can know you a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, I am a health coach and I mentor women to achieve their best bodies, to get into the greatest shape of their life, and also live empowered in themselves. So basically, I take on clients and I mentor these beautiful women to achieve massive mindset shifts, in relation to how they feel about food, exercise, and their body image. Yeah, to clear the clutter and really achieve clarity, because we self-sabotage, we go on a diet, we go on an exercise regime, struggling, with weight, trying to, get into amazing shape and feel good. But there are a lot of, patterns of negative conditioning that have occurred over time. So basically, I mentor women to first clear that out, to stop the binge eating and, feeling so ugly and angry at the mirror reflection, and to instead learn to love and respect themselves. And we set that basis, and then we we have incredible exercise and food coaching that I facilitate. And yeah, I mentor my clients not just to look amazing, but to feel amazing in themselves and to develop their identity as an empowered woman, because exercise and eating well and nourishing yourself, it isn't just about looking good and, you know, just trying to achieve that quote unquote bikini body. It's so much more, you know. It's about who you become, it's who you are to yourself and how you choose to treat yourself and therefore love yourself every single day. So
preach it. Yes. So
yes.
I agree, because, you know, as I've talked in, especially my first episode where I struggled a lot with my body image, I had that big belly ever since then, and I always didn't like the way I looked, chubby here, fat there, that little chubby chin. You know how the double chin? I always compare myself, and I'm like, that. Yes. So
not in you and myself, of course.
no, of course. But I'm saying, but I'm saying when we have that mindset of, oh, we look ugly or we feel ugly, it affects our brain, and then it affects our actions, and so it's very important. That's why I love having you on this here today.
Thank you so much.
Of course, because you and I agree on this topic a lot, and just like I had my own background story, you also had your own story. Would you be interested to share with us?
Yeah, well, basically, you know, growing up, I guess as a child, I was, you know, very innocent. I was on the chubbier side, okay? My mum fed me well, alhamdulillah. I feel very grateful. She fed me well.
That's really my dad. Well, you know? That's my dad.
But, you know, I got teased a lot for it growing up, not just by peers, but family, extended family that I really trusted. And they would tell me that my stomach was sticking out, and they would make all these little snide comments. So basically, when I hit puberty, I kind of saw even more changes in my body, you know, started to have fuller hips and bigger legs, and I became really, really self-conscious. And the kind of school I went to, you basically your image and your body and how you look is a massive deal, you know. And if you don't fit in with that, well, then you don't fit in, and that's very hard in high school. It's such a cliquey kind of, you know, an environment. And so I just hated my reflection. I hated how I looked. The other girls would, and even, you know, some family members, no one had the body I had, and I hated it. And so I would spend hours and hours picking out my flaws in the mirror, literally. And it was really, really painful, because I would jump onto different diets and different workout regimes as a teenager and, you know, get onto it. And then I would have one little snack, like a cookie or something, and I would freak out so much that I would literally close the pantry doors and no one would know, and I would be binge eating and I would be going crazy. And it would hurt me. I could feel pain in my body, but you just uncontrollable, you know? And it was there was a lot wrong there. There was no self-love. There was no respect over my body. There was no listening to my body and its cues. And it was just very impulsive behavior, and no one knew about this. And so no matter how hard I tried, I never actually got really, really lean and had a body that I was, you know, proud of. And so, you know, when I started to get more into Islam, faith of Islam, at age 16, and then when I was 18, I started to dress modestly and cover myself, I realized how much of the emphasis on women is put on sexually objectifying yourself and showing your body and having your body be a means of validation and having people give you attention for your body, and that is your self-worth. And when I looked at the Muslim woman and what she looks like, I was like, wow, you know, a female choosing what she wants to wear, how she wants to dress. And that inspired the life out of me. And so when I started covering, I was like, wow, you know, this is incredible, because I don't have to train and eat well anymore to just look sexy, try to look appealing, try to be like this. I get to do it because I love myself. You know why? Because no one can see fully the outline of my body anymore. It's just about me and how I'm feeling. And there developed, you know, my purpose. And naturally over time, embarking on a lot of personal development, you know, journeys and different courses, going to Tony Robbins, becoming a health coach, you know, it really, really just ignited me forward. And now I mentor women with the exact same, because you know why? Muslim women in modest clothes should love themselves, because we're so, and the thing is, I realize is that a lot of Muslim women, or even if you're just someone that dresses modestly, you know, fall into this trap of like, okay, well, you know what? No one can see my body now, so it's okay. I don't have to look after myself. I don't have to love myself. I don't need to, you know, do this and do that. But it's not about the outside world validation. It's about you, because you know what? One day your creator is going to ask you a lot of questions, and one of them being, how did you treat this body that I gave you? And he has given our body as an amana, as a trust, you know, onto us, and we're accountable for how we treat it, how we live with it in this world. And it's an incredible blessing. And we all start off with a blank canvas in this world of how we treat ourselves, our body, our mind, and what we do with it. And it is just so, so powerful. So I went from thinking that I need to impress others with my body and to look hot and to, you know, think that, oh yeah, fitness is just about having quote unquote bikini body and a booty or whatever. And you know what? Now, you know what? I have a bikini body and I have everything, but you know what? I don't need to show people that. I don't need to freak out over that. You know, it's just about me, my relationship to myself. And that is exactly what I empower women with now. And I coach women with. So yes.
I love this so much. I'm like laughing and smiling because it's so relatable. And let me just share like my fair share too. So same thing, like in high school, I've had like my issues where like I wanted to fit in, look like all these pretty girls with the makeup on, all these hot guys looking at them. Obviously we can't date, but I'm in America. So like public school, I'd be like, well, what about me? Like I am good too, pretty too. And then when I would go to Syria, because these things are like common there too, I'd be so jealous from like the quote unquote like sexy, I mean, the skinny girls, what have you. And I'm like, and the guys like looking at them, and I'm like, well, what about me? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, it's like, like we need to speak about it. Yeah, we need to speak about it, you know, especially for the Muslim women, because it's a struggle for a lot of, especially like for all women, but I'm talking about like for the Muslim women right now, like who are in high school, who probably wear the hijab and they're struggling with that aspect. Like they want to be fit in, be liked by the guys and whatever. It's like, it's a real thing. So
absolutely. And you know what, especially when you're in high school, like
the hormones,
talking about it now, you know what, this shouldn't be a taboo. This shouldn't be something, oh no, don't talk about that, because these are real things we're dealing with. And the truth is, during high school especially, when you're surrounded with, when you're conditioned in that environment of impressed boys, you know, and people are getting validation off of that, naturally, well, you feel like, especially at the tender age during high school in your teen years, you're like, well, why not me? Well, what's wrong with me? You know, why can't I get that attention too? And it's not got to do with anything except your understanding at that age of what it means to, because everyone wants to feel good, you know, like you and I, we both feel good now in our bodies because of our understanding of how good it feels to be modest, how good it feels to stay active and do all of that. But back then, because we didn't have that understanding, the validation and the way we want to feel good now, we still had that same need back then, but because we hadn't seen enough of the world and felt what we do now, that's why our need for validation was simply based on those circumstances that were surrounding us at that given time. And it's so real.
Yeah. And I, excuse me, my goodness. So I don't want to exclude the men or the boys or the males out there, like, because eating disorders are both men and women. So anyone who's listening, I'm not excluding you guys. You're in it too. But speaking for the women, like that's a topic, but I also want to include the guys in the topic. So self-love, going back to it. So like you said, you had your eating, well, not eating, but I have my own eating disorder issues, like due to the body image issues that I've had and not loving myself and wanting to be validated and what have you. So why do you think, in your opinion, it's important to love ourselves, as in like our body, mind, and soul?
We need to love ourselves because, okay, so we all want great things in this world, right? We all want to succeed and do well. And that cannot start unless you have a strong basis to begin with, a strong foundation. So how do you expect yourself to do well in life, to do loving things, to live life to your fullest potential, unless you are loving and respecting yourself to your fullest potential? Because that's where it all starts. For example, let's just say you want to, you know, make a healthy meal, okay? You look in the mirror and you say, you know what? You're so fat, you're so ugly, and that's why I'm going to change. I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to do everything to change that. 99% of the time, those actions of making a nourishing meal and going to the gym and working out, they do not last because it isn't coming from a place of respect and self-love. And that's where it needs to start. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I understand why you are here, okay? I can list A, B, C, D, E, F, all these reasons for what brought you here. I know you aren't looking your best and I know you aren't feeling your best, but that's okay. I love you because you are nothing got to do with how you look right now. And I know deep down inside, there is an amazing, wonderful soul there. And because of that, I'm going to embark on self-loving actions. I'm going to exercise because it makes me feel good. It releases the endorphins. I'm going to eat nourishing foods to nourish my cells, to then allow me to thrive and live my best. I am going to, apply for that job, do well in that job interview. I'm going to choose to be confident today so that I can do well in my life. Like, we cannot expect ourselves to thrive to our fullest potential if we don't love ourselves. And a lot of things, a lot of the cases I've seen in my time as a coach, as mentoring my clients, one of the biggest things is that women allow themselves to be walked over by romantic partners, and they give in to them and they allow them to, really hurt them, and they'll have their men saying, you know what, you're not good enough, you're fat, you're this, you're that, and they don't even have the strength to speak up for themselves. Not because it's not necessarily true, but more because they don't have that sense of self, because they don't love themselves. So even if you aren't where you want to be in your body and your looks, it is 100% possible to love and respect yourself as a human first, because you need that basis to then move forward and carry out the actions that allow you to feel your absolute best.
Well, very well said. And also, I have so much thoughts coming in my mind. Yes. Well, first of all, one of them is that it's important to love ourselves because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even loves us, we are created here because He loves us. And that's why I think, in my opinion, we should love ourselves for His sake too, because we are being loved anyways to begin with. So we should appreciate that for ourselves and then for our Creator, as you said.
Completely. Yes.
And yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, that what you just said, I'm so glad you said that, because that is a massive part of what I do teach. You know why? Because everyone has different beliefs here of how they came into this world, but we can all agree on is that we are here because we are loved. You are created from a being of love, and therefore your inherent way of being is to love yourself and act in accordance with that. So when you don't love yourself and you don't respect yourself, you're literally going against the grain of what you are biologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, naturally created to be in. And what you just said, hit the nail on the head with that. So 100% really, really resonate with that. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you. And also, as you were speaking, I remember the conference many years that I went to, the leadership conference, and it said, one of the speakers said, our brain believes in what you tell it, and then once it believes what you tell it, it acts upon it. And that's why I keep emphasizing on that a lot, because it's very true. When we say bad words to ourselves, or we don't like anything, then we stop caring, and then we stop acting for the goodness of living life.
Absolutely. And how often do we talk down on ourselves, and it's become so sporadic, it goes on subconsciously now. And the truth is that you've got your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and what you repeat in your conscious mind will ultimately go into your subconscious, and that's where everything vibrates from in your life. For example, when you learned to drive, you had to actively focus on that with your conscious mind until it entered your subconscious, right? And now that allows you to do a lot of things in your life, travel from A to B, to do that, so that's just a very small example compared to what it can do for you if you keep telling yourself, I'm fat, I'm unworthy, and people wonder why they don't lose weight, but they keep telling themselves, oh, you know what, I'm fat, I'm just fat, I'm fat, and that's why I need to lose weight. I'm fat, that's why I need to do this. But when you keep telling yourself, I'm fat, like you said, your brain believes it, subconscious brain believes it, and then you never actually see change because you're stuck in that belief. So, yeah.
No, subhanAllah. So today I heard this podcast about I have so much like to say about this. So first of all, it talked about like the whole vibrance. Like it's very big, these days. Like
Yes,
positive
vibrations.
energy. Yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And like I understand where they're coming from, but for me as a believer, like of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obviously like we believe when you have these positive thoughts and like everything, then Allah will send you these help, like the universe, quote unquote, which is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending you like these things.
Yes.
And then also like the waswasa of shaitan, like we don't talk about it that much, but in reality it's also like shaitan playing in our mind, like telling us like these like negative thoughts, and we have to protect ourselves from him ultimately too. But
absolutely, yeah, it's like a hadith or something. It says, sorry, like this. Don't quote me on this, but something like shaitan just wants to lead you towards laziness and cowardliness, and it's just and it's so real, and it's just incredible. Our deen is absolutely incredible. It's got scientific miracles, as I get closer and closer in my in my journey of personal development, and I look to the deen and I'm like, hold on, this is like here from like before we even knew, like everything is answered in the faith of Islam, and alhamdulillah, it's insane. So yeah, anything personal development is all in our deen, so it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I can talk about this on my show.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, for real. Well, okay, and the next thing I had on my mind before that actually is that it's among every single culture. There's no like just this one culture, but I have Pakistani friends, and the key words, instead of saying you're fat, they don't say you're fat, they say you look healthy. Do you have that in your
yes. It's like, oh yeah, you're looking really healthy, and it's like, well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Like what? Like I'm well fed, and sometimes this comes up. Oh yeah, like you must be wealthy even, because like a sign of being well fed is that you have enough money for food.
Oh
and
yeah.
Wow, that is just interesting. Like these social constructs, like
yeah, and it's like one of my friends, like. It's really sad, and I was about to talk about it in my first episode, but I didn't mention it. However, my friend she actually struggled with eating disorder because she was told you gotta look good, lose weight, this and that, so you can have good proposals, so you can get like they would relate it back to marriage, and again going back to the and that can like defeat our women.
That is, one of the most dangerous things that straight away that is setting up in your subconscious. Okay, so looking good is not about you. No, it wasn't important for you to get healthy and to feel your best and to, carry less body fat so that it puts less pressure on your body. Like, let's just take the looks out of it, okay? Like, having excess body fat is more than just your looks. It's about your health and how you live your life, okay? But you know what? That wasn't relevant before. But now that you're getting married and you need to impress a random man, okay, yeah, that is important. Now it's relevant. Now you need to do this. You need to do everything in your power to make sure that you get there. And it's like, what? Like, it's so dangerous. Like, what about ourselves? Like, what about loving ourselves and doing it for you, So, hate that one.
Okay, guys. I'm going to repeat again. I am including the men in here. Guys, love yourselves too. But these things are... no, but like these things are real. So we got to mention them.
True.
How do you help women in self-care and loving themselves?
Okay, so how I help them, I think I mentioned a little bit of it earlier. I go through a very therapeutic process of literally looking at themselves in the mirror in a very particular way and what they say. And this is massively powerful because we all know that how we appear to the world is, the truth is that it's what we get judged on, how we present ourselves. And that's that communicates before you even open your mouth, that communicates what kind of person you are, how you feel. And it's not just about how you dress and your physical looks, if you are wearing lipstick, it's about the energy, how what's your posture like, and your posture says a lot about your confidence amongst many other things. So that reflection talk in the mirror is really, really powerful because that's what the outside world sees, but you have to see yourself as amazing first. So that self-love is a lot got to do with that. And I also go through in terms of self-care, it's really important to spend time with yourself take time for you and, who you are and and how you're feeling. And, we can use people and events and holidays and whatever to really validate ourselves, but you need to first develop that relationship with you. And so, there are many different strategies I go through, but one of the biggest things I can tell you right now is positive affirmations and self-belief. Now, I know we hear this a lot, like, oh yeah, like I did my affirmations in the morning or whatever, but it is so real, like consciously.
Yeah.
Like, who do you want to be? Like, who do you want to show up as, not just for the world, but for yourself? And repeating that, and over time, that really does become your life, and everything does vibrate off that. And yeah, it's one of the greatest tools that I use. Yeah, amongst many others. Women do come into my mentorship, but it's just like a little overview.
So I remember with podcast interview with, I believe it's Janae Brown, with Lois Housen. She say like she has this book called, or like I Am Enough. And I literally took her advice on a sticky note, and I put I Am Enough on my mirror in my bathroom, and I read it. And I'm like, heck yeah, I am enough. So like once you repeat it over and over and over, it helps. So what's your favorite self-care practice that you do for yourself?
So one of my greatest self-care things that I do, obviously, is to work out. I just love going into my own space. Like, that is my scheduled stress relief for the day, like going into that. So also spending time at the beach. I just read a study the other day on how important it is literally to spend time at the beach often. I also, just little things, like I do my nails, I meditate, I pray, everything, prayer is totally self-care. Like, it's my time with my creator, and I talk to him, and he's like my best friend, you know what I mean? So that's scheduled 5 times a day. Like, again, everything's in our DNA, so that's amazing. But it's about, look, above all, what I just mentioned, those things, it's about consciously doing it because you love yourself, consciously doing it because I need to recharge my own batteries appropriately to then allow myself to show up powerfully for the rest of the world. So that's the main thing, is that mentally you really need to be conscious about that. I also, love spending time with friends, and in saying that, in like your company affects your, who you become so much. They say the 5 people you spend most of your time with, you become an average of them. And so that's extremely important. So one of my self-care things is just literally hanging out and having powerful conversations with friends. Even right now, talking to you, it's self-care, like I feel like my soul is being nourished because, we're having this powerful, amazing, connected conversation. And guys, can I just say, like, I'm staring at Ola's face right now. Her smile, oh my Lord, like her smile, her laugh, so beautiful. I can't stop smiling because of it. Just feel the need to let you all know.
Oh my goodness. So we have it on Skype, you guys, and I have my camera on. So funny.
Just gotta mention that, guys.
Oh my God, I'm like in tears right now, but I love what you're saying, and I'm smiling because I'm like, yes, keep saying it more and more. I love it. And as like, the whole 5 average thing, like I hear all the time from like all these like super successful entrepreneurs and what have you. And I'm like, yeah, because the hadith, like it's from the Sunnah as well. Like, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, like, choose your friends wisely because you become those friends. It's like clink, clink. So
absolutely. True. Absolutely. It's so true.
I want to share with one of my favorite self-care is that I use the Epsom salt in the bath. Yeah. And I just soak my body because, like, I become so tired and like with all the work and stuff. So that's one of my self-care, I guess, strategies.
Amazing. Yeah, Epsom salts is just loaded with magnesium, which is incredible for muscle ease and just relaxation. It really aids your sleep. So yeah, all those things are so important because you can't expect yourself to give your fullest to the world and all the things that you do unless you are caring for yourself. So very important. I love that one.
Yeah, and it's like and it goes back to like why we need to love ourselves, because once you love yourself for who you are, you'll love other people and around you, and you'll see things beautifully. Like when you see the beauty inside of who you are, then you'll see your surroundings beautiful.
Exactly. So true. So true.
Yes, and then you learn how to love others through loving yourself first.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's so true. I love that. Yeah, you know what? That actually reminds me of something. My business mentor, a conversation that I had with him a couple months ago, and I was thinking of saying something, on my social media platform, like, to my clients, and to the world. And I said to him, I was like, but what if people judge me? What if people say this? And he said, Nyla, he's like, judgment will not come for you if you yourself live in a judgment-free zone. He's like, you have to live judgment-free, like whatever it is that you want, whether it's, like you said, loving yourself, seeing yourself as beautiful, then you see the rest of the world like that. He's like, and everything vibrates accordingly. Like if judgment does not exist in your life in any way, shape or form, then you aren't going to attract that. Then you won't even notice those that, judge you or whatever. And even if they do, like say like a negative comment or whatever, like you address it from a place of poise and love, as opposed to just anger and insecurity, like, oh, why are they saying that? So it's so true. Like I was just speaking about energy, it's all in alignment. So
yeah. It's subhanAllah. That's exactly what I was listening to this morning. And I feel like I've had that issue too. And even as I was putting this podcast and like talking about myself like in public and what I went through, it's like I still have that fear of being judged. And we have it a lot within our communities, like, oh, don't talk to her because of this and that, or like, don't talk to him because he has done this and that. It's like, cut that out, and it's not
absolutely
easy.
No, it's not. Look, that's the thing as well. All these things, all this self-work is self-work, and it will continue on for the rest of your life. But we always must have the intention that I will keep improving. I will keep taking steps, and knowing that there's always more to learn, whether we're 15 years old or 50 years old. It's very humbling, and we can just keep learning, and we can keep striving for betterment. But it's just about constantly up-leveling, even if they're baby steps. So,
and my dear friends, keep in mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the judge. He is the one who's judging us. So when you have these thoughts, remind yourself what your intentions, and then move on with life.
Yes.
That's all I have to say for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about the intention. Love that.
Yes. So I would love to learn about, if you're able to share whatever you're able to share, even if it's brief, about your health mastery and how we can access to it and get it.
Absolutely, yes. So my mentorship is Health Mastery, the blueprint to creating yourself. And that is, as I talked about a little bit earlier, touched on, it's all about not just, getting you onto a random workout program and, one size fits all. Everything's very personalized. You're personally guided and mentored by me. And we take you through a self-love, self-empowerment journey. We cover 5 very crucial steps to then set the foundation for the rest of your actions of, eating well, working out, eating strategies as well. It's not just about the food you eat, it's how you eat it, how you even talk to yourself when you do eat food. It sounds very intricate and in-depth, but it is necessary when we have, been accustomed to very negative behaviors around food and beliefs about ourselves within that paradigm. So just giving a little identity a shake up in regards to how you relate to food, exercise, your body and yourself. And it's absolutely incredible. Women come out of my program and they continue on with my mentorship for so long because they realize that this is what they needed, that it wasn't just a new workout program, a new diet program. It's like a complete mindset shift. It's a completely new way of how they view themselves, how they relate to themselves. And it's just, they really enjoy being, mentored by me, having someone to talk to be guided by, and learning and growing for themselves and taking those actions. So for me, basically how to get in touch with me and how to work with me on that, it's really simple. Like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I have a Facebook page, I do have YouTube as well. So we'll link everything here, and it's just a matter of messaging me, and we'll just start off having a conversation. And then if I feel we're a good fit, we'll jump into an application call, and we take it from there. And we do our, in terms of like touching base and communicating, that's done via Facebook groups, and really keeping close contact in there. So it's very personalized, and it's an amazing, incredible journey. And so just send me a message. It's as simple as that. Like if you feel like this is for you, if you've been waiting for someone to guide you and mentor you, not just, chuck you a random this, that, but really personalized to change your life, just send me a message.
So what's your Instagram handle and like your social media handle?
So my Instagram handle is at coach.nyla, and that's...
We'll have it in the show notes. We'll have it in the show notes, but I just want to make sure people understand where to find you.
Yeah. And sorry, you asked YouTube as well, was that?
if you want us to go there too.
Yeah, absolutely. On YouTube, it's just Health Mastery. And yeah, Health Mastery. Just
Awesome. So everything will be in the show notes, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But we just want to make sure we say it. And even I had to speak about the self-love and like struggles with my business coach as well. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Because it's really important to invest in yourself. And talking about investment. So loving yourself is investing in yourself,
Yes.
which means that if you do get a coach, it's an investment. It's taking a step towards loving yourself. And
yeah, absolutely. It's, everything's an investment. And one of the greatest investments you can make is into yourself and your health, because that will pay you back in dividends. And honestly, it's either the medical bills later on in life, or it's the investments you make into your health right now, and taking action and living your best life possible. And you can make those changes.
Exactly. This was a very fun conversation. And make sure to follow Nyla on Instagram. She has amazing stories and amazing posts, and she'll be there for you. Of course. And anything that you want any question that I didn't ask that I should have asked, perhaps, about self-love?
No, I think you covered it really, really well. I've had an amazing time. It's been so good to express all of this, knowing that, inshallah, so many beautiful people will be impacted by this and inspired on their journey. So, very excited.
So, since Valentine's Day is coming, I'm not going to get into the whole, don't celebrate anything, but remember to love yourself, guys, to be there for yourself and celebrate you day in and day out.
And know that, yes, that will reflect in not just how you feel about yourself every day, but to the rest of the world as well. And it will increase your experience here. So, yes.
And one last reminder, my friends, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. So love thyself.
Absolutely. He loves you so much. And that is one of the biggest things. You can keep reminding yourself of that, no matter how deep you feel you've fallen into whatever decision you've made, or what's happened, whether it's some sort of a sin you think you've committed, or whether it's about eating a cookie, whatever it is, you don't need to freak out. You don't need to be scared, because you are loved by your creator, and he asks you to love yourself and look after yourself, and it's okay. And moving on is much better than dwelling on it, and things will always get better, and his mercy is greater, far greater than his wrath. So always believe in that. It's nothing is ever too late, whether it's to reinstate yourself with him or with your health. It's all in alignment.
And one last reminder before I forget, make sure, guys, back to episode number 3 with Imam Wissam Sharif, because he and I also discussed about this concept of loving ourselves, because we have a beautiful body in Jannah. So make sure to tune in that episode, because we did talk about how it is important to love yourself for the akhirah as well. So
absolutely, that's right. Be fit for akhirah. Love it.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I've had so much fun.
Of
talking
course.
to you and looking at your smiling face.
You're so funny. Well, we'll talk soon, inshallah, and have a great day.
Yes, you too. Have an amazing day, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe today and leave a 5-star review. You can also screenshot and share this episode with a family or a friend. Be strong, be fit for Akhirah.